So I know how much I changed externally and internally. And the other thing that happened during that year is that I got rid of everything that I couldn't carry with myself. First, I had to let go of ideas, let go of Paula's intelligence, her charm, her laughter, her voice. One thing after the other until eventually I had to let go of her. And what was left was the idea of her, was the memory of her, the love for her. But she was gone. And during the year, I had to let go also of my youth, of a way of thinking about life, of places, of people, because I realized who were the people that were with me and the ones that were not. So let go. And at the end, I only had the essential with me. And that was very liberating in a way. You come with nothing, totally dependent. If you don't have your mother to take care of you, you die. And then you go through life accumulating ideas and success and money and lovers and whatever you accumulate.
Fears and...
Yeah, good and bad things.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to be my age, start letting go. Fortunately, I had to do that when I was 50. And so I had time to train for that. To just let go, because you cannot carry with you anything. And as you get older, there's no way that you will have the body that you had when you were 30, that you will have the friends you had when you were 50. Everything changes all the time. And by the end of your life, you have nothing. You are in a bed with your body, and then you leave your body, and that's it. I realize that I'm totally aware of all the things I'm losing day by day, and I'm not concerned or distressed about it at all. All the things that you think are so important, that you hold on to, that you think is your identity, you can let go of everything. It's a stupid thing, a little thing, but it has made also a difference. I let go of my wardrobe, of my clothes. Lori has a friend, and I always liked her style because it's very simple, but there's always a touch of something that is interesting. She's also young and gorgeous. And she came to my closet and threw away 80% of it. And the other 20% I threw it away after she left. So now I have a closet with hangers, empty hangers. And I look at the hangers and I'm so happy, so extremely happy, because there's nothing, I don't have to worry about it. There are very few choices. I only have comfortable shoes, I have dark clothes, everything matches with each other, don't have to think. And it's very little. That's how I felt in Chile after the military coup. Mm-hmm. I felt that, first of all, I was in permanent fear, terror. I feared for my life, for my children, for everything. Mm-hmm. It took me a long time, too long, to decide to leave the country, because I didn't want to lose my little house. I thought I will never have again this tiny house that I had. My job, my friends, I was a successful journalist. I'm never going to have this again, ever. My life is over. I'm 33 years old, I'm too old. And, all the things that one thinks. And then when life pushes you over the cliff, and you think you're going to crash, and you don't crash, somehow you float. We lost everything. We lost the house, everything that the house contained. We closed the house and left with the idea that we would come back in a few months. We never came back. So everything that was lost, I can't even remember it. I don't remember what was inside the house. The objects, the books, no idea what was in. So it wasn't important at all. And I have had other houses since then, much better houses, or worse houses, it doesn't matter. There's always a place to live, so it's fine. I would wouldn't say that I haven't learned anything in all these 30 years of writing, more than 30 years. I still make huge mistakes. I'm still afraid when I start. But I have learned one thing, and that is that I have to show up in front of the computer every day. Sooner or later, the muse will come. At the beginning, I'm stuck. I know that I'm writing terribly, that the book is going nowhere, that the story is terrible. But then, like in the third week, a month into the writing, something happens. One of the characters does something unexpected. And then I can breathe. I know that the story will happen, that the characters will come to life, that they will tell me things, and that a lot of stuff that is inside me, in a storage place inside me, and I don't know that it is there, will start to come out. Why do I write a book, for example, like The Island Beneath the Sea, for example, which is the story of the slave revolt in Haiti 200 years ago? Why would I write about that? I have no connection with Haiti. There were no black slaves in Chile. We never had plantations. Chile was never the colony of, well, it was for a while the colony of Spain, but it wasn't the case like Haiti. So why did I want to write this book? I have learned that I don't need to ask that question, just write it. Mm-hmm. And sooner or later, in general, very late, I will find out. When the book was finished, I still didn't know why I spent 4 years researching and then writing such a painful book. It took me a while to it was a question from someone in an audience. I was doing a reading and someone asked a question. And suddenly, I knew what the book was about.
That moment?
In that moment, when that person asked the question, I realized that the book is about power. It's about absolute power, which is something that has always bothered me. That comes from that house when I was a little kid, and the power was in the hands of the males, of my grandfather and my uncles, and the male priests and the police and the authority. It was all male, but it was absolute power over the lives of women, like my mother and my own life. Mm-hmm. And what happened during the military coup? It was absolute power of brutality, and you had no defense against it. And that was terrifying to me. That kind of absolute power with impunity, when you are not accountable, no one will ask you what you did or why. That is what this book is about. Because the worst kind of absolute power is the power of the owner over the slave. In my lifetime, I have seen much change, and it's always for the better. People say, oh, the past was better, this is terrible, we are living the worst crisis. No, my dear. I was born in the middle of the Second World War, in the middle of the Holocaust, when they threw up the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And it was a terrible time. It was before the Declaration of Human Rights. It was when no one was talking about the rights of women, or the rights of children, or the rights of workers. Mm-hmm. So the world is much better, let me tell you. And it's getting better. What sustains me, what my life is about the love I give and the love I receive. It's about certain relationships that are important to me. And maybe what happens with the books is that I relate to the characters as if they were real people. I love them and I hate them and I fight with them, and there's an interaction there that I don't try to control. I may have an idea of what the story will be about, and then it turns out to be something totally different. I may have the idea that I'm writing about the gold rush, and I end up writing about feminism. It has nothing to do with my ideas. It has to do with feelings, with something that is in the air. Mm-hmm. My mother, who is a very perceptive person, says that I'm always one step ahead of what will be in the news. That and it's eerie sometimes, because when I published the book about Haiti, the same week was the earthquake in Haiti. Wow. So my mother says, not that you provoke it, says my mother. It's that you're a step ahead, so don't be terrified. but the truth is that it's something in the air, that it's like the collective consciousness, the collective dreams, the collective fears. If I'm alone in a room 10, 14 hours a day, I get it. It comes into me, what is in the air. I remember many years ago in the 70s, in 1 year we had 3 novels in Latin America about dictators. One by Garcia Marquez, one by, three great writers wrote great novels about dictators. And some critics or professors or whatever said, oh, they are influencing each other. No, my dear. Half the continent was experiencing dictatorship. So it was in the air. Everybody was fearing and talking about the same thing. No wonder these people were in 3 different countries, disconnected, writing about the same thing. And I think that in that process of letting go, I also let go of the idea that I can control the writing, that I will control the book and the story.
Before
I tried.
Okay.
And now I don't even try. I sit down and I start writing, and things happen. And where the book is going, sometimes I don't know. Or how it will end, I have no idea how it will end. Often it happens that I come with an idea of finishing the book in a certain way, and I open my computer, I start writing, and I realize that the book ended the previous day. And there is nothing I can add, because whatever I add will diminish the book. It's done. And how it happened, I don't know. As I said before, it's pain and sorrow and losses and effort that makes a life, and that makes a life interesting, and that creates the stories. What are you going to talk about if you have a happy life? What's that? So what's happiness?
What's happiness?
I don't know, but for me, happiness is not a state of equilibrium and peace and no struggle. And no, for me, happiness is the sense that you can confront everything, that you can be alone or in company, that you can be in love or not, that you can have or not. That's happiness. And a sort of detached joy. And an interesting life also is to be willing to take risks. That if you're always going to take the safe path, like my grandfather, what's the point? What's the point?
Why are people afraid of taking risks?
People are afraid of change.
Why, you think?
Because they think they will not be able to cope with the change. They don't know their own strength. And I know that I have that problem. I'm working on it in therapy, actually. I've been working for a long time with it. I don't want to show my vulnerability. I don't want to depend, for example. Let's say that I have to go to the doctor and and there's something that could be scary. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
My tendency would be to don't tell anybody. Go alone and face it alone, because I don't want the dependency. So I'm learning that being vulnerable and saying, I'm terrified, I'm really afraid that I might have cancer. Can you come with me? There's nothing wrong about it. That doesn't make you a weakling. That's just sharing your life with other people. So showing that is what I'm trying to learn.